Welcome to my projectbazaar.com. Yeah, now we discuss about the space-time network coding with antenna selection. Yeah, let us discuss about the abstract of the product. So in this proposed work, we investigate the space-time network coding. So that is a STNC with antenna selection AS in the cooperative multiple input and multiple output. That is a MIMO network where U users communicate with the common destination D with the aid of R and decode and forward. So that is a DF relays. So in this network, the best transmit receive antenna pair with the highest signal to noise ratio, so that is a SNR, is selected to perform the signal transmission and reception over the user destination and relay destination links. So to quantify the performance degradation of STNC, so that is a space-time network coding. So where with the AS, that is antenna selection due to the time delay between instance of channel information, so that is a CSI. So CSI estimation and data transmission, we derive the simple error rate, so SCR, and capacity of the expression over rarely fading channels. So the asymptotic SCR expression reveals the STNC with antenna selection guarantees full diversity order of, so NU plus summation of R is equal to 1 to R up to NR into ND. So where NU, NR and ND are the antenna numbers of user, relay and the destination D, so respectively. When the antenna selection is performed based on the perfect CSI, so that is a channel state information, and outdated CSI is channel state information degrades the full diversity order to R plus 1. So we also examine the effects of spatial correlation on the performance of STNC with the antenna selection by obtaining a new closed form expression for the asymptotic SCR, which indicates the STNC with the AS, so that is antenna selection achieves a full diversity order over flat correlated relay channels regardless of the value spatial correlation coefficients. So numerical and simulation results are to provide the demonstrate the accuracy of our theoretical analysis and evaluate of the performance of the space-time network coding with the antenna selection. Yeah, let us discuss about the flow diagram of the product. So first of all, this is system model and then channel state information, so that is a CSI, and calculate the SCR, so simple array rate, and calculated capacity. Finally, we calculate the performance analysis of the spatial correlation. So in the system model, consider a cooperative MIMO network composed of U users sending information to a common destination with aid of relay. So that is decode and forward relays over a flat reading Fanet channel. So we use the the channel coefficient matrix between transmitter mu and the receiver. So in the first phase, user takes the broadcast in the channels to the relays and the destination in the first U slots. So that is a user broadcast, it's time to the signal of U. The optimal transmit among the NU antennas and the user and the ND antenna of the destination of the process. So in the second phase, our relays combine the overhead signals from multiple users during the first phase to signal symbol by assigning a unique spreading code to each signal, and then take turns to transmit the combined symbol to the destination D in the last R time slots. So that is a relay R transmits its symbol in the time slot, so that is a U plus R. So next we calculate the channel state information, so that is a CSI. Due to the channel fluctuation, the CSI employed in the antenna selection process may differ from the exact CSI in the data transmission instant. In other words, the CSI is outdated. Here we determine the impact of outdated CSI on the performance of STNC with the antenna selection. So that is a channel state information of the CSI, and then the channel state information CSI is processed by the cooperative MIMO network, so that is a multiple input and multiple output of the process. And then the process is calculated SCR. So SCR is a simple error, right? So the exact SCR and the asymptotic SCR, there are two types of SCR. So in the exact SCR, in the presence of outdated CSI, so the SCR of the STNC, so that is a space-time network coding with the AS antenna selection associated with the new active relay set is doing outdated of CSI of the process. Then asymptotic SCR. So in the asymptotic, so here we derive the asymptotic SCR expression to characterize the diversity order and array gain to other useful insight into the behavior of STNC with antenna selection in the high SNR region for both perfect and outdated CSI of the scenarios. So next, calculate the capacity of the process. So outage probability of capacity, and then again we capacity. So the outage probability of the capacity, the OP is an important quality of service measures as the characterizes the probability that the instantaneous capacity falls the predetermined threshold. So that is a RTH, which correspond to the SNR threshold. So RTH is equal to 2 power RTH minus 1, and then we calculate the ergodic capacity. So in the ergodic capacity, we calculate in the presence of outdated CSI the ergodic capacity of the user U. So we calculate the OP and the ergodic capacity. Finally, calculate the performance analysis of the spatial correlation. In the performance analysis, we calculate the simple error rate and outage probability of the process. So simple error rate means that is a ACR, and then outage probability OP. So this is the calculation of the calculated ACR and calculated capacity. So these are the overall flow diagram of the process. Yeah, now we'll discuss about the running procedure for the product. So click the main file and then run. So executing the file, all the results are related to our flow diagram. So it's take some seconds of to execute. Yeah, this is the first figure. In this figure, the SCR of BPSK modulation of the perfect CSI. So that is SCR is a simple error rate, and then CSI is a channel state information. So we calculate the exact SCR, simulation, and the asymptotic SCR. So these all the graph is GD is equal to 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. So in the y-axis EP by N naught. So there is a dB, and then in SCR is a bit error rate or SCR. So there is a simple error rate. By calculating this figure, so the exact SCR is indicated in the blue color, and the asymptotic SCR is cyan color. So finally we calculate the GD, that is a gain dispersion. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. So this is the process of SCR of BPSK modulation of the perfect CSI. So in this figure, the SCR of BPSK modulation of the outdated CSI. So compared to the previous figure, so that is a perfect CSI. So this is outdated CSI. So similarly, the same graph. So y-axis is indicated the EB by N, and the x-axis is SCR. So that is a VR of the occasion. So exact CSR and simulation asymptotic GD is equal to 336. So that's the process of SCR of BPSK modulation for the outdated CSI of the process. So in this figure, there is a determinant impact of spatial correlation on the SCR. So in this figure, the y-axis is indicated the simple error rate, and there's a variable correlation coefficients. So the different variable correlation coefficient of the process. So there is a R equal to 2 and R is equal to 1. So there is a relay, and NU and NR is the user antenna, then receiver is equal to 2. So calculating of the determinant impact of the spatial correlation of the SCR. So in this figure, the exact SCR, simulation, and asymptotic SCR is calculated. So these are the UI table of the calculation. So SCR of the BPSK modulation of the perfect CSI of the values. And finally, in this figure, OP is outage probability of capacity for the outdated CSI. So that is a rho is equal to 0 and 0.5 and 1. Finally, calculate the simulation result. In the y-axis, we calculate the outage probability 0 to 1, and then in x-axis RTH. So it is a BPS, bits per seconds per hertz, of the value of 0 to 15. The calculator of the different row values will be calculated. Rows is equal to 0 and 0.5 and 1. So outage probability will calculate by using the capacity of the process. Finally, also calculate the ergodic capacity also. So in this process, the outage probability will be calculated. So the outage probability of the outdated CSI, so that is a channel state information, calculated for the RTH of the bits per seconds of the heads. So these are the overall running procedure for the product. Thank you for listening this video.